Hey, what's going on, guys? I'm still bagging and boarded, but I saw that 7:30 on Tuesday night sneaks up on you every single week. So once again, it's 7:30 on a Tuesday night, so you guys know what that means. It's time for another one of my wonderful live streams, if you will. So we'll just get to the chat real quick while I'm still bagging and boarding here, and then I got a channel recommendation. I'll start showing some books. All right, so once again, I think this is the third or fourth week in a row. First in the chat is HME3 Comics. That guy makes it a point to be #1 in the chat. So once again, HME3 Comics, welcome and congratulations. You get I guess, a can of Coke if I ever see it. So there you go. Next up, we've got the Great Legend Show. We've had already a couple knockout, drag-out brawls on WWE 2K19. We were playing last night, so been a blast so far. Already been awesome. As long as those stupid, pesky, awful 2K servers would decide to work, we'd like to get some bigger matches going with, LP was playing for like 8 hours last night or something like that. And I know Chad was trying to get in. Me and him had luckily got a chance to have at least one match. So I guess look out on everybody's channels on the Comic Core for that. Like I said, I know last night was a lot of fun playing with the guys, trying to get in the matches and stuff. Hopefully, my hopeful goal is if there's like eventually 8 of us that has the game, we have some sort of goofy, crazy Money in the Bank ladder match that's on someone's channel, all that good stuff. And yeah, it's been a lot of fun. Next up, Prowler671. How's it going, man? He's waving high, wave high back. Nice to have you once again this week. He always tries to make it to these streams, so definitely appreciate that. Oh, just making sure he's not behind me. Looks like you got little Jimmy is here, but you can't see him because he's invisible. So there's little Jimmy. So thanks for the warning on that, legend. So there we go. This week we also have TJ Watson joining us. What's going on, TJ Watson? Glad you could make it. Once again, he was my featured YouTuber of the week last week, so please check out his channel. He had a very awesome video he posted last week, so please absolutely check that out. Next up, looks like we got Comic Core Chad in the house. What's going on, Comic Core Chad? Always got to get the plug out of the way when I see him. So every Friday night, 10 p.m. Eastern, we have Comic Core live. You never know what's going to happen live on the Comic Core on Friday nights. So please be sure to check it out live. Last week we had a guest, Chad Ciccone from Action Lab Comics. And it was actually really awesome for me just because I've never got a chance to read a lot of Action Lab comics because my store just doesn't order a lot of them. So it was very educational for me. And overall, I'd say is one of the best shows we've ever done is the Comic Core. So please check that out on the rewind if you didn't get a chance to catch it live. Legend says he loves his shirt. Oh, yeah. What you mean? There we go. Is my one impression for the night. Well, I had my drink of water just now. Also, we've got Brandon Stowinski Comics. What's going on, man? Brandon, he's one of the nicest people in the whole community. He's always getting on those auctions, and he's experimenting with his live streams still. So love it when Brandon goes live like I do. Next up, we got Jam Sessions. What's going on, man? Glad you could make it. Everyone's saying hi to each other. Looks like next up we got Eddie the Comic Guy from the New York Warriors. What's going on, Eddie? Glad you could make it, man. He says he got wood. Art on Tuesday, LOL. So thank you for that, Eddie the Comic Guy. And then we got Double S Comics Reader. He says, what up, aka Flexi Lexi. He has nicknames for about everyone in the community. So what's going on, Double S? And then lastly, we just got Daniel Ybarra joining us. What's going on, man? Glad you could make it. All right, so I actually got a lot of comics somehow this week to go through. So I was trying to cut down. We go through the same thing every week. I say, yeah, I'm going to try to have just a couple things to show next week, and then got a stack here, and then another stack here. So, and then I got some short boxes because I want to highlight a run like I did last week. So I'm going to try to keep this under 90 minutes, but we'll see. So first off, we'll just go ahead and hop right into the books as quick as possible because I do want to get back to the chat. But I can't remember if I showed this last live stream because fact of the matter is I was on 2 live streams on Comic Core last week. I was on Great Legends live stream. We had an awesome pay-per-view review, which I'll talk about a little bit later. And then I was even on LP Niobe Comic / Rebel Gaming's live stream for a little bit in a party chat. So I kind of lost track if I've talked about a book or two in a chat. So nonetheless, I got these from All About Comics, aka JP. He hooked it up, a heck of a deal on these. So I got this beautiful Alex Ross Fantastic Four #1. The shop I looked at getting this from originally, I think I paid for the entire lot. So I think I got a heck of a deal from JP. So once again, just a beautiful Alex Ross cover there. One of the ones I've been looking for. And he also threw in Weapon H #6, J. Scott Campbell, Fantastic Four variant. Got a 90s-ified Sue Storm there. So there's that. So cool cover from J. Scott Campbell. More on him later. And then last up, we got this. I believe this is an Adam Hughes Tony Stark Iron Man #3 Fantastic Four variant. So not my favorite Adam Hughes cover, but still cool nonetheless because you get the FF, and who doesn't love, Fantastic Four. So there's that. So thank you, JP. Awesome lot there. Next up, this one kind of snuck by everybody, I think. It's another Walmart giant size #1. No one really talked about this one up until like Thursday when people were thinking it was coming out. So now we got Swamp Thing Halloween Horror. This is actually a Brian Azzarello written, Greg Capullo drawn story for the first 12 pages. So this one really snuck under everybody's radar. So if you guys are looking for this, it's a Walmart exclusive. The good news is my Walmart at least had a ton of these. Like they had a whole separate box that was just filled with these, almost like the size of a short box. So if you guys are interested in this, I would probably go to Walmart. I don't think it's going to be a rarity or anything. So if someone out there speculating on like, oh man, this one flew under everybody's radar, like I just said, I got to go get a bunch of copies now. These giant sizes, they seem to be growing in mass. So I know all of the 3s that have came out, there's a ton of those, all 4 of those on the shelf. But nonetheless, you got Greg Capullo, you got Brian Azzarello. So if you guys like that type of story, go collect this. And also it collects some old Neil Adams Batman. And yeah, there's a lot of cool stuff in this. So check that out if you guys like those giant sizes. All right, let's see what else got going on in the chat, because I know I saw Roman Curtis, the big dog, has joined us. What's going on, Roman? Glad you could make it. Prowler671 says stacks are good. Eddie, the comic guy, says he's still recovering from New York Comic Con. Yeah, I've been watching the New York Warriors coverage of New York Comic Con, and yeah, it looks like you guys all had a great time, but yeah, I bet 4 days of that con would be very exhausting. So, I wish I could have made it there myself, but it sounds like a lot of people had a good time there. Let's see. Jam Session says, like I told someone, there's no such thing as a light week in comics. Yeah, it seems like every time I say there's a light week, I end up getting like 3 stacks somehow. Prowler671 says, Tuesday and live with C. Woodard, the other best day of the week. Thanks, man. That's cool. Looks like we got Ruben Neves. Sorry if I butchered your last name there, Ruben, but we got Ruben joining us. What's going on? He's a new subscriber to my channel, new to community, so everyone look at his channel, sub him up. I don't think he's made videos yet, but whenever he decides to make videos, we'll be all first on board and ready to watch his stuff. So welcome, Ruben. Glad you can make it. Prowler says, I hadn't seen that Swamp Thing at Walmart. Yeah, I think it just launched Friday because I went Thursday just because I didn't know how many were going to be there. And I know all the first issues blew out of the water once they released. So obviously this is like the second run of a first issue. But yeah, I went Friday night and Thursday night. Thursday night, there was nothing there. Friday night, they had a whole short box basically of them. So if you guys haven't been to Walmart but before Friday, you might go double check your Walmarts if you're interested in the issue. Yeah, it looks like Double S is shouting out Legend and that nice paragraph he typed. I always love the Double S nicknames. Those things kill me. Jam Sessions asks, anyone else frozen? We are still hot here in Indiana. It was 85 degrees today. But Wednesday, there's supposed to be a cold front. So I'm really looking forward to that. Roman Curtis says, see what it owns Tuesday nights. LOL. Yeah, no one wants Tuesdays. So I just kind of snuck through the back door and like put my little flag out. So I got Tuesdays. So there we go. Ruben says, it's all good, brother. Thanks for having me. Hey, no problem, man. And Legend says, this is my favorite live show on Tuesday. I'm like one of the only ones. So still means a lot. So thanks, Legend. All right. So back to actually what I bought from my shop last week. I got 5 books. I still need to read a couple of them. Shame on me, but work and WWE 2K19. Unfortunately, it's taken up most of my schedule. I can't believe it's already this Tuesday. I felt like I just did last Tuesday's show. So time's been flying, guys. But I do have to stop real quick and welcome Joker68 to the chat. So what's going on, Joker68, man? Everyone give that guy well wishes. I know, he hasn't been feeling too great lately, and I'm just glad to see him in a chat. So how's it going, Joker? I'm glad you can make it, man. But anyway, we've got Dead Rabbit #1, which was my pick of the week last week. Very cool book. I talked about it, I think, on both Comic Core chats. So if you guys want to know my thoughts on that and kind of just a general synopsis, check out both Comic Cores from last week, because I feel like I've talked about this book about 4 or 5 times now. But nonetheless, my pick of the week last week, Jerry Duggan. He's doing some good work lately on Analog was his book before this, and he's done a lot of Deadpool work. So Dead Rabbit definitely lives up to the hype for me. Next up, speaking of living up to the hype, we got Magic Order #4. Another excellent issue from Mark Millar. We're finally getting the family together with one issue to go in this run. It only took the first 4 to get them together. So issue 5's it's coming up on a huge showdown between the family and the rivals. So this book has been heating up lately. So check out Magic Order, or at this point, if you haven't had a chance, can't find the first issue, the trade will probably be out in the next 2 or 3 months, which I recommend. Next up, we got Blackbird #1. This one's from Sam Humphries and Jim Bartell. I've absolutely fallen in love with Jim Bartell's art over the last 6 months to a year. Actually, yeah, right here, there's the Overwatch print I got from her at C2E2. Absolutely love that print of her girl gang from Overwatch. But yeah, she is one of the most underrated artists out there, in my opinion. So I'm very happy to see she finally landed on an Image book that she's regular drawing the interiors for. This is actually Fiona Staples' variant cover. But yeah, Jim Bartell's art is amazing. I'm glad she's finally got her own book out there that I could actually get a #1 of. And the 2 I still need to catch up on. Superior Octopus #1. I was almost past this, but I keep getting suckered into getting these Spider-Geddon books. I say suckered, but most of them have actually been pretty solid reads so far, and good one-shot reads too. So if you guys like Spider-Man at all, this has been pretty cool. Christos Gage, I think, is running the whole Spider-Geddon crossover. So he's been doing a bang-up job so far, and I know I like all of the Edge of Spider-Verse spin-offs so far, and Spider-Geddon Zero is pretty good. I keep saying it's verse, it's Geddon, so Spider-Geddon. And then somehow I don't think I've read this yet. Justice League #9. Once again, I see Phil Jimenez is back on the book, thank goodness. Yeah, actually, no, that's Jorge. Dang it. Jorge Jimenez. He's the fill-in for this week. Dang it. So there we go. I keep thinking Jim Chung. He did the cover. So there we go. I'll have to read that later and see what I think. So, and then actually I got this as a freebie as well. Went and saw Venom yesterday. AMC theaters are still handing out these free mini comics basically. So pretty cool of them to do. My thoughts on the movie, I guess. A lot of people have seen it, said they liked it or didn't like it. I'm kind of in the middle ground, honestly. I thought it was a decent action flick, which that's all I was kind of looking for from Venom. Was just to be just a good solid 2-hour movie, nothing more, because I didn't really have a lot of hopes. I know a lot of the original reviews, some of them were comparing them to Catwoman, and that's just unfair. Catwoman was a whole new level of bad. Venom was not that bad, but there were things about it I still didn't like Michelle Williams' character, absolutely terrible. It is near unwatchable, and that's one of the first characters you see in the movie. I think someone mentioned Tom Hardy's accent, which I agree on, was very distracting to me. I was just I couldn't tell if Eddie Brock's supposed to be some foreign guy or what, but at least he did a good job just being creeped out by the Venom symbiote, which I was also happy to report it is now symbiote again instead of symbiote. They dubbed it over from the original recording, so I guess they called the actress back in to not say symbiote, which I was happy about. So victory for English language. So there we go. But yeah, like I said, I think I gave it a 2.5 out of 5 overall. I also saw Predator yesterday too, because I had the AMC A-list, I had the day off, and I hadn't used it for a while, so I wanted to make sure I got my money's worth. I thought I enjoyed Predator a little bit more than I thought I would. I think I gave that one a 3 out of 5. Once again, solid action movie, good hour and a half, 2 hours. The cast was pretty solid. I was surprised how much I actually liked the cast. Olivia Munn was in it for some reason, though. So once again, she was a little distracting in terms of her acting quality. So, but yeah, like I said, if you're looking for two good, solid action movies, there you go. All right, back to the chat again. Once again, everyone's saying hi to Joker68, which absolutely glad you could make it, man. Once again, Prowler says good to see him out and about in the community. Looks like we got finally we've made it. We've made it on Tuesday nights. Jason Smith is back in the chat. What is going on, Jason Smith? You know you've made it as a live stream, and you're going to have a good one for the rest of the night once you see that big, long sup in the chat. So what's going on, Jason? And in terms of tradition, let me type in the chat, Jason exclamation point. There you go, Jason. So there we go. All right. And oh, we got Pope Grimy in the chat live on Thursday nights, Comics and Cold Ones, 10 p.m. Eastern, one of my favorite live shows in the whole community. Say hi to Pope Grimy. All right, let's see what Jason Smith says. So Venom made good money, question mark. Yeah, I think it set an October record for a weekend, so it absolutely made good money. So we'll probably go ahead and see a sequel to that with the whole Ronald McDonald thing. You guys know what I'm talking about. So yeah, it did pretty good. All right, Jason Smith also says the sup is trademarked, so yeah, good luck with that, man. He'll probably send me a bill via media mail for calling that out. So there we go. All right. So you guys know me. I got to go to Half Price Books about every single week at this point. They've been killing it with the deals lately. So like all this stuff right here, I got for less than $12. So once again, cool Half Price Books haul. So this first stack here, this is all 20 cents a book. Unfortunately, I had to waste a lot of my bags and boards bagging and boarding this stuff, but hey, that's why we buy them. And a lot of the stuff I already have, and I guess I just kind of saved it from the 20-cent bins, I guess. So first off, can't have enough copies of this 0 Hour Crisis in Time #0. This is the first crossover that ever came out when I was a kid. So this 0 Hour stuff always has sentimental value to me when I see it. So if I can get it cheap, and actually, I was surprised this cover is, being an all-white cover, I was surprised it was this clean, considering it was in those nasty 20-cent bins. But like I said, this is, the first crossover I was able to get week after week as it was coming out in the 90s. So, and hey, you got Dan Jurgens basically writing and drawing the whole 5 issues. So absolutely always love 0 Hour. Like I said, I like Crisis better, and I like Infinite Crisis better. But this was kind of just a band-aid for Crisis on Infinite Earths at the time. So happy to have that. Another 20-cent bin savior, Chew, Image First #1. I got really, really excited because all I saw was this part of the book at first. I'm like, oh my God, am I going to get this for 20 cents? But it was the Image First, which I know some people do collect these too. So nonetheless, awesome read. I'm probably going to pay this one forward one day to somebody else just because I love Chew so much as a book. And obviously, the first issue is a good starting point. Next up, I think I'm going to start collecting these as I see them, at least the first 10 issues of the run, because I just keep running into these books. So I got GLA #2 from that Grant Morrison run. If you guys watched me last week, I ended up getting the first one from the bin for 20 cents, I think. It's either 20 cents or $1. I can't remember at this point. But I guess they had the rest of that run in the 20-cent bin. So I ended up getting issue 2, which I remember this book came out in the 90s. This was almost worth more than issue 1. Obviously now it's a 20-cent book, but hey, still cool to have, and it's an excellent run from Grant Morrison and Howard Porter. So got that. Also had issue 5 in there. Unfortunately, 3 and 4 I did not see. I believe this is the first one where Electric Superman joins the team, and they let some more people in the team, like Connor Hawk, Green Arrow, Steel, and Artemis, and even Hitman's buried in the back there, and Plastic Man. So pretty cool new era for the Justice League, I guess. I remember reading that one as a kid and like, what is this team? Issue 6 as well. So there's that. I keep also tripping over Brian Boland stuff, so I'm not going to complain about that. I'm just going to pick it up and put it in my haul. So I got Animal Man #34. I might actually get enough of these post-Morrison ones to make a run and actually read it. I've never read the Tom Beach run, but I know it has Steve Dillon on the art, so it has to be pretty decent. But yeah, I got some more of these coming up too. But first in my stack, here's another one. I don't know how it survived being in a 20-cent bin for so long, but apparently I'm bending the books. I'll get to the chat in a second. We got Gen 13 #1. Found it for 20 cents. This is one of those books I kind of pick it up every time I see it. So absolutely love Gen 13. Very early J. Scott Campbell, Jim Lee written book. So love me some Gen 13. Got the mini-series #1 and the ongoing #1. So I'll pretend these are glass for you guys. So there's the ongoing #1. Unfortunately, it's the 1A. I've always looked for those 13 variants. I've never seen those to buy around here. So I'd like to start collecting those one day and try my luck at getting those because they had some cool covers back in the 90s. So I'm going to lay that down gently so I don't bend that spine. Now we got Gen 13 #2 from the mini series. So there we go. Sorry, I keep going into the chat before I can read it. So I guess I won't palm anymore. I'll just show like, how's this? Is this better? No, I don't. I want to cover up Rainmaker though. This is Gen 13 #2. First appearance of Rainmaker when she joins the Gen 13 team. I got issue 3. Another cool early J. Scott Campbell. Oh man, good old 20-cent books. I will get to the chat here in a second because you guys are killing me. All right, so it looks like Ruben has a question. He says, "Seawood, out of all the books you picked up, what would be your top recommendation of the books you picked up?" Let's see. I'll go into the books I picked up last week just at my shop. I'd probably suggest Dead Rabbit #1 just because it came out last week. It's a solid read, and you can get on board easily right now because there's only one issue out. So Jerry Duggan has a great track record, so I think he will not disappoint. So if you're looking for a recommendation out of the things you saw so far, once again, I got to defer back to Dead Rabbit. And honestly, if you can find the trades and the hardcovers, which they have, Image has some very excellent hardcovers of this. Pick up Chew #1, or at least get like the first Chew trade and see what you think. Because I'll be honest, this book's not for everybody. It's a little bit cartoony and it's very adult at the same time, but the points it lands on very well. So if you see a soft cover of Chew or decide to get that nice hardcover, I believe they are, the Omnivore editions. There are 6 of them. I have all 6. So that's why I'm looking over there because it's over there. I highly recommend Chew. It's one of my favorite books I've read from Image ever. So let's see what else we got going on in the chat. Jason Smith's talking about mowing grass. Yeah, I wish I didn't have to worry about mowing grass, Jason. It sucks. So yeah, then Great Legend said, "Don't bend those books." LOL. Watch that spine. So apparently I palmed one of those books a little too much. So we're gonna handle these like fragile 9/8 Golden Age books from now on. GM Sessions asks, "You found a 20-cent bin?" Yeah, for some reason my Half Price Books has folding tables set up now with like 8 bins and everything's 20 cents, but nothing's bagged and board, and some of them have stickers on them still. So it's kind of like a shootout if you're going to get a good quality book or something tore up. And actually, I think I've been finding some good quality books lately because I think they're just getting too lazy to bag and board. So anything they get in, they just dump in there regardless of what they think it is. Pope Grimy says, "You ain't Shaq, and that ain't a basketball." You guys all sound like Jason Lee from not Mallrats. Well, he was in Mallrats and all those Kevin Smith movies, but I think it was in Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back, where he's just like, "That's not your penis, that's a comic book," or something like that. I'm paraphrasing, of course. Let's see. He says, "Jam, you bought the whole bin. Woodard has some of the best hauls in the community," says the Great Legend. Yeah, I mean, there's still a ton. I can't believe the frequency they refilled these things. So 20 cents, they should be about empty by now. Oh, and Legend correct me, is Chasing Amy when I think it's Banky Edwards. Yeah, he makes his first appearance in Chasing Amy. So thank you guys for that. Appreciate that. Gotta appreciate a good Chasing Amy reference in our community. We don't get enough of that. Looks like we got Comics and Bueller in the house. What's going on, Comics and Bueller? Got a chance to speak with him briefly in an Xbox party chat last night, so that was fun. So hopefully he has WWE 2K19 installed, so eventually we can dream about having that Money in the Bank match if the servers would actually allow it to work. So look forward to that. And I do have to plug Bueller's channel real quick. He goes live every single Thursday or Friday night right before the Comic Core, 8:30 Eastern, to give the Comic Core a little bit more of a rub, basically. So thank you, Bueller, for that. You probably double our viewership every time you do that. So big thanks, Bueller, for that. That's awesome. Let's see what else we got. Great Legend says, my friend Jimmy Palmiotti was in that movie. Oh, yeah, that's right. I forgot Palmiotti made a cameo in that. You're absolutely right. It looks like we've got Splash Page Comics, Mr. White Gloves. What's going on, man? Glad you could make it. Oh, and real quick, before I forget, I can't remember if I mentioned it already, and I don't know why I haven't, but in the link below, shame on me for not mentioning this already. I got distracted by palming comic books and everything, but in the link below, I did leave my channel of the week. I've been trying to do this at least once a week, just show some love, a little bit in the community. This week, I decided to pick Comics Addiction as my YouTuber of the week, I guess, if you want to call it that. I need to come up with a better name, I guess, but I want to talk about Comics Addiction real quick. He's like one of my first subscribers in the community. He's been extremely friendly to me the entire time I've been making videos, and I think we are very like-minded in the stuff we collect. So not only is he a cool guy, but check out his last video because he's been going through some hard times lately in terms of welcoming a new baby into his family. So it sounds like based on his last video, everything's gonna be okay, but it sounds like it's been a scary few weeks for him. So go over to his channel and send him your best because yeah, it sounds like he's had quite the scare the last few weeks. But hopefully him, his wife, and his kids will be all okay. So we're all thinking about your Comics Addiction, man. Hopefully everything's gonna be okay for you. Glad you could post a video, at least show some books and that stuff, because that means if you're showing books and that's on your mind, hopefully that means your family's all right and everything's going good for you. All right, so one last shout out to the chat. Bueller says, anytime I can give Comic Core a rub, I will be there. LOL. Start getting my wrestling terms again, Bueller. They always come out weird. Legend says, don't rub too close. LOL. Joker68 says, I still buy 2 copies of a Batman I for sure picked up in my pocket when I go to the hospital, like the old days in the back pocket. Yeah, so that's cool, man. Awesome, Joker. Yeah, so let's fold one up. I actually almost folded up my Venom and put it in my pocket, but I wanted to show my channel, and everyone was like, why would you bin that? But hey, comics are for reading sometimes, guys, and palming and showing on live YouTube channels. All right, I've been rambling on long enough. Let's get back to 20-cent books because I'm already a half an hour, guys. I'm sorry. Once again, we got some Brian Boland, Animal Man. Cool bears in the background. Looks like Animal Man's having a great day there. Got issue 42. We got some cyborgs after Animal Man. He's caught in a tree. So there we go. Hopefully I can put this whole run together and read it. I'm really hoping I can. Next up, issue 40. Once again, you don't pass up Brian Boland covers for 20 cents. Issue 44. I think that might be my last one of that run for now. I can't remember whose channel I saw this on, but they highly recommended this book. So I figured I saw an issue 1 and pick it up. Frostbite #1 from Joshua Williamson. Someone said I think this is a 5-issue mini-series, but it was well worth a read. So I at least found the first issue. They didn't have the other 4, so glad to find at least an issue 1. If I could pick one, I guess it would have been the issue 1 to find. Next up, I've never heard of this book, but based on the creative team, I kind of had to pick it up. Got Savior #1. And this was a Todd McFarlane and Brian Hagelin. I think that's the way you pronounce his last name. It's written by those two, which, Brian Hagelin basically created Witchblade. And obviously we know all about Todd McFarlane. But also the artist is Clayton Crane in this book. So I'm very surprised I've never heard of this. But definitely gonna have to check this one out and see if I can find more issues of this because that sounds like a really awesome book. Next up, we got Justice League America issue 100. This is like the non-90s-ified, non-foil variant because I had 2 covers for this. The one was like, sorry, I'm looking at my wall again because I got the Flash version. And had some text here. It showed like Guy Gardner and right at the bottom. It said, I don't remember what it said, like Guy Gardner's back and it was in foil. But this is like the slightly rare, I guess, like I said, worth 20 cents. Slightly rare, cover B or cover A, however way you want to look at it. So thought that was cool. Don't see that around too often. The last one might be my favorite 20-cent pickup. I got Justice League America 27. I thought this was fitting to find considering it's kind of going on that Halloween season, but absolutely awesome poster swipe of The Exorcist. Definitely have to give this a read too. I almost went wild picking up these Justice Leagues because they had like the whole first part of the run of the Keith Giffen era, basically. So, and also Ty Templeton, one of my favorite artists based on the sketch he gave me in my sketchbook. did the art in this one too. So thought that was a really cool find for 20 cents. Next up, I'll get to my dollar finds. So Poor Man's Comics, you know, he gave me a read from Zach Kaplan not too long ago that I really enjoyed called Port of Earth. So I really enjoyed that. So I also found this book. Sorry, I won't palm it. Called Eclipse #1 from Zach Kaplan as well. So I look forward to reading this and seeing what this one's like. Thought that was a, you know, but Port of Earth was really cool. So I'm expecting this to be very good as well. So I got that for $1. I have no idea what this book is, but I think it's from the, you know, 70s. So I'm like, well, it's a dollar bin book. So I got to save it. Ghost Manor number 68. Like I said, I don't see these Charlton comics around hardly ever, especially in dollar bins. So I definitely, I guess, you know, curiosity got the best of me. And I thought, you know, kind of looked like a cool type of Halloween book. So I figured I had to pick it up. Have no idea what it is. So if anyone's read that, let me know. Then I finally completed my Ultimate Spider-Man run. This is the only one I was missing out of my whole run. So I got issue 86 finally. No relevance in the book that I know of. I was just missing. I have 1 through 100, and 86 was the only one missing. So very happy to finally have 86. So I can say I have the first 100 some odd issues. I think I have every Bagley drawn Ultimate Spider-Man now with that too. I might be missing a few, and I could be wrong. But at least that completes the first 100, which is one of my favorite runs of all time. So I'm happy to have that. Next up, I didn't have this cover. I think I have the A cover, and this one might be the B. I found a Tokyo Ghost #1 from Rick Remender and Sean Gordon Murphy. So cool run. Never got a chance to read the whole thing. I'd like to get like a hardcover trade of this because I like both people working on this book. But definitely knew not to pass up an issue 1 of Tokyo Ghost. Once again, we're back to Brian Boland. For $1, I found a Dial H #1. I think this is going for something for a little bit, but yeah, who cares? I got it for $1. Happy to have it. Don't know too much about Dial H, but thought the cover was really cool because I like Brian Boland, so I picked that up. Another one thought looked cool. Don't know much about. Got Criminal Macabre #1 from Ben Templesmith and Steve Niles. So definitely have to crack this open and look at it. It looks really cool. So couldn't pass that up. Here's one of my favorite runs from Jeff Johns and Francis Manipul. Got Adventure Comics #1. This is the cover B. I have a signed cover A, I believe, by both of those guys. I just never find this one. So to find it for $1, I was extremely happy because, you know, this storyline was focused on, well, everybody knows it's my boy, Connor Kent. So this is kind of like Connor Kent's big return after he, you know, got saved in Legion of Three Worlds Final Crisis. So if you guys like Connor Kent, which apparently he's coming back, yay! So if you guys want to brush up on your Connor Kent, I would start with probably Adventure Comics and that Jeff Johns run, and then Jeff Lemire takes over after that for a nice Superboy run in 2011 that got cut way short because of the New 52. So like that Adventure Comics run. Now I'm just about done after I'll get back into the chat. So I got a little bit of a run of American Vampire called Survival of the Fittest as a miniseries. Unfortunately, my half-price books, they like to not ever have full runs for some reason of anything. So this is a 5-issue mini. I found issues 1 through 4. So I was digging and digging and digging. They didn't have issue 5, but at least they had issue 1. Usually it's the opposite. If it's a 1 through 5, you get 2 through 5 somehow. So this one's interesting, though, because here's the issue 1. And the reason I started to pick up this whole run is the first issue signed by Scott Snyder. So I knew I couldn't turn a Scott Snyder signature down for $1. So thought that was really cool. And once again, we got Sean Gordon Murphy doing the art in this one too. So really cool American Vampire signed by Scott Snyder. So I thought that was cool. So like I said, after I saw that, I tried to put together the run. So this is already in my hand. Issue 2 for $1. Issue 3. And issue 4. So unfortunately, there was no issue 5. Maybe they haven't put it out for sale yet, or it's doomed to the 20-cent bins, and I got to dig through all those again. So there we go. That was my half-price books haul. So once again, nice to get this whole stack for like $11. All right, so let's get back to the chat. Got to scroll up a little bit because you guys look like you're blowing it up. So thank you for that. Love these responses I'm getting on Tuesday nights. It looks like I've got 17 people here on a Tuesday night right now. Man, you guys are awesome. So thank you for that. Great Legend says, decent looking Charlton. Those normally in bad shape because they were cheap. Yeah, I noticed I bought a Blue Beetle reprint last week. And that thing, yeah, it looked like it was printed on like the cheapest paper ever. Besides like the only cheaper paper I've seen is like phone book paper, which DC's used on their hardcovers at times. So yeah, it was in pretty good shape. That's why I figured nothing else. It was definitely worth $1. Looks like we got Who Dat Comics and Movies. What's going on, man? I'm always happy to see Who Dat Comics and Movies. One of my inspirations for making videos to begin with, so it's cool, and he can join up. So what's going on, Who Dat? Yeah, Prowler also said he hadn't heard of that Charlton book. Yeah, like I said, it's the first time I've heard of that one. Got Count Von Strange fourth. What's going on, Count Von Strange? He's always making it every Tuesday, so what's going on, man? Glad you can make it. Legend says, every time Sean Murphy comes up, Legend says, remember when Sean Murphy was in our chat on that auction? That was cool. Yeah, I subbed him up that night. Still waiting for his first video, though. But yeah, that was cool, man. Be nice if we could get him on that Comic Core somehow. All right, let's see what else we got. Who Dat says, I started reading the trades of TMNT. I bought 1 through 10. It started good. So, okay. I wanted to talk about the IDW run. I was thinking about getting those myself in the hardcover, but those IDW hardcovers, the number 2 is really hard to find. It's out of print for some reason. So that kind of hindered me on getting all those hardcovers. I really want to get them. But apparently, like the second one, and I think like the 5th one or something. Basically, if it doesn't have the turtles on the cover, I think it's out of print, which is super weird. So hopefully IDW corrects that, or comes out. Maybe they'll come up with a bigger, better edition. So I really want to read those in like a hardcover format. So yeah, I might have to break down and get those trades though. Who Dat? Looks like Legend's giving me the like, share, and subscribe plug. So thank you for that, Legend. That means a lot. So that's awesome, man. Pope Grimy says American Vampire is awesome. I would agree. I have 5 hardcovers over there. I need to read like issues or hardcovers 4 and 5 still, but I know those first couple were really good. So I was happy with that. Legend says American Vampire, that run was better than Snyder's Batman New 52. Yeah, I've heard that before, actually. I need to sit. I don't know how many issues are in the initial run, but I need to sit down and read that whole thing. Let's see what else we got. Legend says, hey, Count, what was the latest scary movie have you watched this month for scary movies at your house? Actually, if you guys have been tracking my channel the last couple of weeks, I kind of counted Venom and Predators, 2 horror movies, just to keep up my, watching a horror movie every single day of this month. But I've been watching the original Universal Monsters. I've watched, I think, the first 4 so far. So watched Dracula, Frankenstein, The Invisible Man, and what's the other one I watched? The Mummy. The Mummy was actually really good. I think Frankenstein or The Mummy might be my favorite so far, but they were all really awesome. And Count Von Strange says Blair Witch is my most recent. I haven't had a chance to check yet. Legend, bad weather. Yeah, weather's been weird here too. I thought about watching the original Blair Witch again. Actually, not Blair Witch 2 though. Anyway, back to the books. Got one last haul to show. Got this one at my doorstep today, actually. Basically, I kind of took a roll of the dice on this one. I didn't really want any of these books, but I sent a very, I guess, a lowball offer, I guess you could say. More or less, I got the books for $1 a piece shipped. If nothing else, I know, my parents' antique shop, I have a buyer there. They really like buying dollar Spider-Man comics, so I could probably easily, read them real quick, sell them to this customer I got. Nonetheless, completely random stuff here. Got Spider-Man in issue 34. Like I said, I'll probably add some of these in my collection too, like these Spider-Mans I don't have, because I don't have a lot of the regular Spider-Mans from the 90s that the McFarlane era started. So there's that. Got Spectacular 209. So like I said, I don't really collect a ton of 90s Spider-Man because he didn't have the best 90s, let's face it. These are doubles for me, so I'll be flipping these for $1 probably. Ultimate Spider-Man number 30. I do love this run, but hey, I don't need 2 or 3 copies of this stuff. Ultimate Spider-Man 38. Always like this Venom run. 34 is the first Ultimate comic I ever bought, so definitely remember buying that. Actually, I think I do need this one. Ultimate Spider-Man 130. So this one will probably be going in the collection. Unfortunately, it's part of that awful Madam storyline. House of M Spider-Man number 5 of 5. I do like me some House of M, but if I don't have the whole run, I kind of don't want to read that. But I probably will anyway. Here's the one I did the dice roll and I'm kind of lost. They kind of had the auction like this. And I thought I either sending a question or sending a lowball offer. I sent the lowball offer and it got accepted. So in their picture, things were kind of like this, like get this Spider-Man lot, for, basically $1 a book. I'm like, oh, I wonder what that is. I figure if nothing else, it's going to be the Toys R Us variant. And that's pretty much what it turned out to be. So got another reprint of Ultimate Spider-Man #1. I believe this is, yeah, the KB Toys variant. I think I said Toys R Us, but yeah, I knew by the inserts and the code on the side that it wasn't a direct edition code. So I knew it was going to be, as soon as I unpacked it, would have been nice if I had a bag and board buyer, but when you're buying $1 book, ship, that's what you get sometimes. But nonetheless, still happy with the price I paid for the stuff. Got Spider-Man Sweet Charity #1. I have no idea what this book is, but there it is. Cool looking cover from J. Scott Campbell, at least. So, like I said, I've never heard of this one. So, cool, unknown J. Scott Campbell cover there. So, that'll be going in the collection. We got Peter Parker Spider-Man. Looking for the number. Giant size spectacular. So, we'll just go with that because there's no number on this apparently. So, there we go. Oh, annual 99. So, they changed the year annual. So there's that. Apparently it came with another Spider-Man 34. There's 33 with the Punisher. Yeah, 90s clones. Can't have enough of those. Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man annual #1. I'll probably end up keeping this because I do like me some Peter David Spider-Man, and he wrote this Friendly Neighborhood run. Here's a keeper for me. Amazing 382 from that Mark Bagley run. Cool Hulk cover, so happy to have that. Marvel Team Up #2. Early Robert Kirkman work on this one with Scott Collins. So always like the early Kirkman stuff from Marvel. Spectacular Spider-Man 24. So I think this one, yeah, it's the weird. Actually, that's a Greg Land cover. I didn't even realize that until just now. But I think it's from that weird one where they cloned Gwen Stacy and she was with a clone of Norman Osborn or something like that. I don't remember anymore. It was weird. He sent me 2 copies of Spider-Man 16. So, all right. So there we go. I think I actually needed one of these, but yeah, I'll probably end up selling the other one because why would I need 2 copies of that? Spider-Man 32, once again, I got that whole Punisher run, I guess, he involved. So there we go. Spider-Man 57. Whoops. Oh, I'm showing them so high there. There's that. Spectacular #12 from I think Paul Jenkins wrote this one. Sorry, I was just trying to identify if that movie, it looked like a Mighty Ducks movie at first, but unfortunately, it wasn't that cool. And then the last one from the lot, Spider-Man Universe. Almost looks like a magazine or something you'd find at a store. So no idea what this one is. So there's that. And that's the lot. Like I said, I paid I think I paid like 19, or no, I think I paid exactly $20. It was like 22 books or something. So like I said, nothing I was really looking for. Thought it would have been cool to find an Ultimate Spider-Man #1 first printing for $1. But hey, I still easily worth the price I paid, in my opinion. All right, so back to the chat one more time. We've got Ruben says, wow, really cool finds. Makes me want to look through dollar bins a lot more, which we don't have any 20-cent comic bins at my LCS. Yeah, sometimes you just got to go to those half-price books, or even I've noticed, because sometimes I go to Terre Haute because that's where my family's from. They have a Books A Million there. They have a lot of dollar bins there now, too, at Books A Million for some reason. So don't forget about your local bookstores, too, because they get a lot of donations from local libraries and stuff. I wish I had more time to go to estate sales and flea markets and yard sales, but unfortunately, working retail, you don't get a chance to go to those because most of them are on the weekend, and usually you're at work on the weekend, and it sucks. So Prowler says, original extras scared the shit out of me as a kid. Yeah, I think it scared what's the Phantasm catchphrase? Like, if you're not scared and you watch this one, you're already dead, basically. So shout out to Phantasm. Love that movie too. If you guys want a movie to watch for Halloween in October, check out Phantasm. I think they have a remastered edition that came out this year. And actually, I do plan on watching that. Prowler also says, love old Hammer films, vampire movies with Christopher Lee and Peter Cushing. I think we talked about that last week too. Still looking for a good price on a box set for the Hammer stuff. I think Amazon has one, only has like 8 movies in it, though it's $30. I'm not sure if it's worth that. Joker68 says, I like the old classic monster movies. to Wolfman and Dracula. Yeah, for sure, man. I've really been enjoying them so far this year that I've watched. Prowler loves that Grand Moff. Joker says, don't laugh, but the newer horror movies I have to watch with the lights on. I'm serious. Yeah, I could see some, like, I keep telling people, and they kind of laugh at me too. Like, I think one of the most legit creepy movies that come out in the last decade or so is that first Paranormal Activity movie, just because, like, the way it's shot and just the effects they use, they don't go overboard on anything. And just that final shot of the possessed lady staring directly at that camera is one of the most chilling shots I've seen in a movie. It's just so simply done too. So there are some decent movies out there like that. Let's see what Chad has to say. It says, keep Midwest Comic Book Man in your prayers. He's gone through some bad tornadoes heading his way. Oh man, I didn't realize that. Hopefully, Midwest Comic Book Paul comes out all right on that, because he's right in the middle of Tornado Alley up there, man. So, yeah, Paul, he's probably not watching this because of the bad weather, but Paul, hopefully you can watch this later. We're thinking about you, man. Good luck. Man, I hate tornadoes. I don't know about anyone else. Pope Grimey's talking about Count Dooku. So, yep, Darth Tyrannus. Those prequels. We'll definitely go 90 minutes if I start talking about the prequels. Great Legend agrees. Midwest is a good dude. Prowler says to Joker 68 he slept with a wood stake under his pillow. Don't blame you. Watching some of these movies. All right, we got some LOLs. Don't quit comics. Jason Smith's still retired. So there we go. Gotta silence my phone. Sorry about that. Pope Grammy says, you're going to get Negan to buy comics, bro. Joker68 says, Prowler, that's funny. I have an M14 underneath my bed. Anything comes aside, he's going to blast them. So if you don't sneak up on Joker68, make sure he knows you're coming. GM Session says, second, Charles books man have good books sometimes, but their policies suck too. I bought 2 nameless issues, same cover, and they would not lower the price of $3 book to the other one's like $1. Yeah, sometimes, especially when you go into those fried pie variants, those things are like $8 a piece, and they don't label them very well. So sometimes you get up to the register and you're told like $8 for one book. Yeah, those fried pie variants, they can be cool, and sometimes they can really suck based on the price. Prowler 671 says, my favorite line from Phantasm was "boy." So there we go. Yep, I got the tall man autograph back on my wall over there. I think he wrote, "You play a good game, boy." Angus Grimm. So I thought that was pretty cool. Pope says, just play with you. Who'll get back into comics soon? Jason. Yeah, likewise. You watch all these comic videos, man. At least go read some books. So shout out to Jason Smith for selling his whole collection. That's a feat. I don't think I could ever sell all the stuff behind me. It'd be crazy. All right, so last week, if you guys watched, I did like a little, I guess, retrospective, if you will, on the 52 weeks not mini series, maxi series, if you will. So this week with Titans coming out, I believe it starts this Friday on the DC streaming service, and allegedly it's eventually going to come to Netflix, because one of the ads I watched had a Netflix bumper on it, so I don't know what that's all about. But nonetheless, with the whole DC streaming service being hyped up, Titans coming out soon, I wanted to show off some of my Teen Titans books, because I really do like my Teen Titans as much as anybody else. Sorry, these books are packed tight in here. Gotta fish them out without them going ever, because I know no one wants me to bend my spines. All right, so I'll go ahead and get into some nice Silver Age ones I found recently, which I don't have. I'd love to collect more of these, but you just don't see them all the time. So first off, I've got Teen Titans 16. I think this is the oldest Teen Titans I have. I wish I could say I had the first appearance and the Brave and the Bolds and that stuff. But found this one at a antique shop recently for about, I think, $3. So I thought that was a really nice find for $3. Likewise, same thing for this one. I think this is issue 34. Cool find for, I thought, $3. So I'm hoping on my next vacation I can make it back to that store, see what else the guy has, because he had some killer deals, and I basically broke the bank the first time. Figure since I got paid a few times since then, I can go back now and see what else the guy has. But I'm really hoping he's got some cool stuff waiting for me. Next up, got issue 39. Got it from the same buyer. So one day I will read all these Silver Age Titans. I think actually the DC streaming service I know they've got criticized on how many comics they don't have currently, but I think they've actually uploaded a lot of Silver Age Titans to get people ready for this series. Next up, we got New Teen Titans Annual #1. I think this is from the '84 run because they had these like more artsy covers on those. So pretty cool Starfire versus Blackfire cover there. And unfortunately, my '80s Titans collection is pretty sparse too. Got an issue 65. Cool balloons cover there. Once again, I think about the name of the stream, the Brian Bolin stream. Another cool Brian Bolin cover there. Kid eating a popsicle down there. So then I also have an issue 67. So there's that. Issue 39. This is where two of our favorite heroes hung it up for a while. So I remember looking at this one as a kid and really seeking after this one. So obviously we lose Robin and Kid Flash, and they become newer, cooler characters for it. So there's that. Once again, big thanks to Poor Man's Comics. I can't thank him enough for this AOK from way back when. He gifted me a New Teen Titans #1 because I think I was on one of Catherine Figures videos and she was showing this off. I'm like, you know, that book continues to elude me. And then Poor Man's Comics also chimed in. He's like, hey, man, I found one for really cheap at C2E2. And I know you probably would have been through that bin. Send me your address. I'll send it to you. And I was blown away that someone would send me this book. So once again, a Poor Man's Comics. You guys got to sub them up if you haven't already. Big thanks for that book. One of the coolest things I've ever got in terms of me starting this channel. So can't thank you enough. I think I'm missing issue 1 of this. I need to remember to pick that up if I ever see it in a dollar bin. But I got Titans Young Justice Graduation Day #2. This kind of was the start of the Jeff Johns stuff, as well as having, I think, Judd Winnick did an Outsiders run after this too. So this kind of branched off into the Teen Titans run from Jeff Johns and Mike McKone. Issue 3 is where they killed off Donna Troy in the early 2000s. So there's that one. So this book was fetching a little bit of a price, I remember, for a minute. Luckily, I found that for $1 way back in the day, apparently. Gosh, what am I doing with my comics? They're all over the place here. So I start with issue 100 for some reason. So I'll try to correct that so I can show you guys my favorite Titans run in its order. Whoops. Sorry, Astonishing Tales number whatever you are. I may have just been a comic, so hey, there we go. It wouldn't be one of my live streams without destroying a comic inadvertently. So there you go. So we'll get that ready. Sorry, I had the haul all over the place. I wasn't the most ready like I should have been. So let me see if I can find my Teen Titans #1 from the Jeff Johns run. We'll show this in the meantime, and you guys can ponder on it. I got a couple copies of Teen Titans Giant Size. This is issue 2. Boy, Connor Kent's on the cover, so I had to make sure I picked up the proper amount of covers for that. Man, I'm going to have to resort all this stuff after the show. All right. I think I got it all. Special shout out to Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles because this was in my hand. So there's that. And then there is the issue 1 of the Giant Size run. I kind of cut it off after 2 just because, like I said, I'm collecting stuff. I mean, I'm collecting stuff I already have, basically. A lot of this, there are full issues of the Teen Titans in these, which I'm about to show most of those. So, but nonetheless, I know this one, I think, was the first appearance of one of the new characters in the new run. So a lot of people were looking for this book for a minute. All right, where is my issue 1? There's the new run. I kind of will show those last. This is newer. All right, so if you guys watch my room tour or anything, I do have a first copy, first print up there on my wall, signed by Jeff Johns, Mike McKone. So I've showed that book off a couple times. So this one is the cover D, I think. I think this is technically a 4th printing. Cool black and white Mike Turner cover. Got it signed by Mike McKone. I'm still looking for the color version of this, so hopefully one day I'll find it. I think if nothing else, I know we'll probably do our 2019 want list in a few months, so that'll probably be one of my 10 books I put on there. So I think this might have been the first Mike Turner anything I bought, actually. I guess I take that back. Witchblade #1 probably be the first, so this probably be the second. So I always really like that cover. Issue 2, once again, as you guys can see. wiped onto this too. So there's that. But this, I absolutely love this run. This is one of the ones that kept me in the comic books. Once again, got this one signed by Jeff Johns right there. And I don't know how that turns out. And then Mike McCone right there. I love this run so much. I want to make sure I got both of them to sign it. Basically, in my opinion, Superboy is the main star of this whole run. I know we get to see Bart Allen go from that transition from Impulse into Kid Flash in this run. But we also see Connor kind of come into his own too. He starts wearing the T-shirt version of the Superman logo with the jeans. I thought that was a really cool look. He really did need an update after the 90s was over. And then, of course, his girlfriend in the run was Wonder Girl, Cassie Sandsmark. Also got this one signed by Johns and McCone. I said I absolutely love this run. And then next up, same thing for number 4. Had Robin on that cover, also signed by Johns and McCone. And then number 5, the Kid Flash cover, where he's telling his old moniker, Impulse, get out of the way, because here comes Kid Flash. I think this is the one where in the first issue, I believe, he gets his kneecap shot by Deathstroke. So he's pretty much shelved immediately, but then, you know, because he's a speedster, he's able to regenerate instantly and come back as Kid Flash. So really like that run. There's issue 6. For some reason, you know, we always got to have a throwdown between teams. This is kind of the one where, you know, the Justice League, you know, all their wards are kind of ganging up as one team. They're just like, what are you doing over there in that Titan Tower? And, you know, Superboy, he's got a temper. So when Superman starts kind of trying to tell him what to do, he pushes back, and his friends got his back. Superman's friends got his back. And then we end up with this. So once again, it's always kind of, you know, bland and generic to see that type of stuff, but I thought it was pretty well done in that issue. So we got issue 7. This is where they kind of make up, I guess. They're all buds again. Issue 8, we start to get into, you know, Raven's storyline with Brother Blood and that stuff, if I remember correctly. Issue 9, we got Kid Flash driving the Batmobile. Yep, and issue 10, there's Brother Blood. He's back. So there we go. And then issue 11, this is where, you know, whose side is Raven on, like usual. So we even get Deathstroke involved and all that stuff. And, of course, we eventually find out, hey, Raven's on the Teen Titans. So good, solid 12-issue run there. I've always, one of my favorite Jeff Johns works. I know we always talk about Jeff Johns and his awesome Green Lantern work, which that may be his best. But Teen Titans is a pretty close run for its money, in my opinion. So if you guys are looking for some awesome, you know, underrated Jeff Johns out there, Teen Titans, man, it's one of my favorite runs. All right, before I get into the rest of my Teen Titans collection, let's go ahead and take a look at the chat. Pope Grimy is asking anyone else if they grabbed that Swamp Thing Halloween Wally World book. Yeah, I was showing that earlier in the feed. Definitely grabbed mine. It looked like my Walmart had a lot, so I haven't heard of any supply issues on the new Swamp Thing Giant size. But if you guys don't have that much luck and don't find it, you know, hit someone up in the community, because I know, like, there's 3 Walmarts around me. I could probably find a copy pretty easily. Let's see who else. We got Mr. D in the chat. I almost slipped by without saying hi to Mr. D. So I think he already sold his Swamp Thing giant size. I think that's what he's saying. So there we go. Joker68 says, if I feel good enough tomorrow, guys, I might do a video, but I'll probably have to be bed now. Like I said, man, Joker, take care of yourself, man. We're all hoping the best for you. He says, I'll show some horror books and some Freddy Krueger, he says, if you can make one. So yeah, that'd be cool, Joker. But yeah, don't kill yourself, man. You know, if you gotta stay in bed, stay in bed. We're all thinking the best for you, Joker. But yeah, it'd be really cool if we could see a video from you. I know everyone would like to see that. Looks like we got Alex the Comic Quarter. What's going on, man? Glad you can make it. Let's see. Yeah, Joker says he's having a hard time. Like I said, take care, man. Alex says Connor and Tim's friendship is the best. Absolutely, man. It's one of my favorite things. That, you know, it's basically the whole, that friendship is what the glue that holds that book together, in my opinion. Especially those early issues where Tim Drake is the, you know, he's probably a detective on par with Bruce Wayne, in my opinion, is Tim Drake. He's probably my favorite Robin. So for him to be the one to discover that Superboy's DNA also has Lex Luthor's DNA in it, besides Superman's, and then, like, that's the secret those two have to keep for a lot of the run until they kind of let Cassie in on the secret. It's a very good dynamic that they have in that book. So, like I said, I can't recommend that enough. He also says, and Connor's relationship with Cassie was the best as well, especially during Infinite Crisis. Yep, we were going to get into that one too. All right, let's see what else we got. Tacoma Comics, what's going on, man? He says he's doing a run-in, so I thought I felt a chair hit the back of my shoulder. So what's going on, Tacoma Comics? Ruben is asking, Siwa, do you have any books that are signed, graded? If so, which one is your favorite? Ooh, signed books that are graded. I'll be honest, I don't get tons of stuff graded. I don't, and we got one Pope in the chat. I don't know where my other favorite Pope is at, Pope C, but I always got to show this as my favorite graded book and give him grief because he always says he wants this exact copy. So I got my 9/4 first appearance of John Stewart, Green Lantern 87. This is probably my favorite graded book I have currently. And in terms of CGC Yellow Label, I always kind of got to show this for that example. Got a Fallen Sun, Death Captain America, issue 3. Actually has some art on the cover. This is one of the first like blank covers Marvel started putting out. Peter Steigerwald did this cool Captain America for me for free, and it got a 9/8. So that's probably like one of 2 yellow labels I got. So if I had to pick one, I'd probably say that one. But yeah, usually when I get signatures, I just get them from myself. So I usually don't try to get the verification and the yellow label and stuff like that. So that would probably be my pick. Let's see what else we got going on in the chat. Tacoma says, I can almost play part opening you wish. Not sure what he's talking about there. Sorry, Tacoma. Everyone's just kind of saying hi to each other. Joker's asking, does anybody have the DC Universe channel? Or are they going to watch Teen Titans? Yeah, that's kind of what inspired me to show this haul here, just because I know Titans launches Thursday. Oh, and I think I forgot to say hi to TJ Watts. I think I saw in the comments earlier he was saying that in Europe, that's where it's going to be Netflix available, because I got a little confused because I saw an ad on an Internet Movie Database for a trailer that had Netflix bumpers on it. So I'm like, oh, what happened to that DC exclusivity? So, yeah, I'll definitely be checking out the first episode, seeing what that's like. Pretty much looking forward to that, of course. All right. And also looks like we got Genome Presents joining us. What's going on, Genome? Glad you can make it, man. Brandon Stawinski says, I'm about to get a couple of Kevin Eastman SIGs this November when he comes to Grand Rapids Comic-Con. So when you mention Kevin Eastman, the book's next to me, I always got to show this. Always got to have a good excuse to show the sketchbook at least once. So Brandon, if you're going to meet Kevin Eastman and you have like something you want to get, a piece of art on, I know it's not the most fancy thing in the world, but still, he's a cool guy. And I know when I met him, I'm trying to think of what year, probably 2015-ish. He actually did like a couple nice free sketches for me. Yeah, so something like this, he'd probably do something like this for you if you asked nicely. Because I know like he did one of these in my IDW hardcover, and I usually don't prior ask for extra stuff, but it was Kevin Eastman. I've been, as you guys can tell, I kind of like turtles, so I had to ask, and he was like, yeah, that's cool, man. So he did this like nice like 2-second sketch for me, but still one of my favorite things in this book. So Brandon, if you're meeting Kevin Eastman, you might see if you can get a nice cool sketch from him really quick. So what's going on, Miss Hustle? Glad you can make it. How's it going? So once again, the MVP of the comic community, Miss Hustle. So I forgot to put the link to her new website down in the chat. I'll probably link that later. But yeah, check out Miss Hustle's new website, because she's basically one of the main people trying to bring the community together right now in terms of just showing links to live shows and all that good stuff. So absolutely, once again, big thanks to Miss Hustle. Can't thank you enough. It looks like Alex has got to run. So thanks for making it, Alex. Hope you have a good night. Last time I got 2 books signed and remarked. I might get a sketch. That's a good idea, says Brandon. Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, you may as well get something for the wall. Why not? Or the book, whatever you got. Nonetheless, we'll get back to the Titans run because it's one of my favorites. After that issue 12, I believe this is when this special came in. So this is the Teen Titans Legion special. So we get Superboy in the future, where he kind of dons the original Superboy costume. So that was always pretty cool. And this is actually some really early Ivan Rice artwork, I believe. I'm trying to think of what else he did for DC before this. But this is some of the first Ivan Rice stuff before he eventually did all that awesome Green Lantern stuff with Johns. So I'm running out of place to put things here. Got so many books everywhere. I did a little skipping around after this run. because they started changing up. Like I think the next one was like a Beast Boy arc where Johns and McCone were out. So I didn't really care about getting the issues. Maybe if I see them in dollar bins, I'll pick them up one day. But I skipped to the Legion run. So, you know, they're still kind of dealing with stuff in the future. I thought it was really cool to see Superboy, I think, for the first time in that Superboy costume. Once again, I got that one signed by Mike McCone. And I don't know why this one's in this bag, but I'll go ahead and show it. Skip to issue 23 with the cool Dr. Light post-identity crisis storyline. So for a long time, Dr. Light wasn't that threatening of a villain to a lot of characters, especially the Titans. So after Identity Crisis, you kind of figure out why. So when his brain basically gets fixed, he goes right after the Titans because that's what Dr. Light will do. So there's that. Back to 17. We get the Titans of Tomorrow storyline, one of my favorite storylines Johns did during this. So after the whole Legion ordeal, the team tries to get back to the present, but they actually end up a little bit in their own future. So if you guys have read James Tynan's Detective Comics run, this Titans of Tomorrow run actually weighs heavily in on that because you see like a really angry Connor Kent Superman there, and then you know that Batman is actually Tim Drake as Batman. So you get the grown-up versions of all these characters, and they're just not having a good time basically. So it's just interesting to see, you know, the adult versions of the Titans, especially knowing what we know now with the whole New 52 reboot and all that good stuff. A lot of these characters ended up not existing, and then Tynan brought these at least that version of Batman right there back for Detective Comics. So this makes this read a lot more interesting. So there's issue 18. So as you can see, Tim getting involved with himself basically. So like I said, this run weighs heavily on the Tynan arc that's very underrated recently in Detective Comics. In issue 19, where they finally, I think this is the one where they get back. And in issue 20 was pretty cool for me because we got Todd Grummett doing the art on this. So if you guys can't remember, Todd Grummett was like one of the main guys who created Superboy. So for him to do a Titans issue or two, I thought was really cool back in the day. So we get that. Should have got that signed by him. Shame on me. Just met him last month. Once again, sorry, I need to bag and board a little bit better. So we go from 21. And this is where they introduced their version of Speedy. Get issue 22. Like I said, Dr. Light was on a tear around this time because of the post-Identity Crisis DC universe. I already showed 23. So then that leads us to issue 24. This is where Lex Luthor gets control of Connor Kent. And as you can see, the first thing he does is he burns an L into his chest and shaves his head. So not good for the Titans, obviously. So next issue is where they end up. He just ends up smoking basically Wonder Girl and Robin because those are people closest to him. So those are the people. Of course, Lex is going to go after first to kind of cut that tie. So of course it's up to the rest of the team once he gets done well on Tim. It's not good for Cassie either. And then issue 26. Luckily, they kind of save him. I think that as well, they also intersected with Outsiders because I had a version with Brainiac, which was a good guy version that got taken over by the bad guy version of Brainiac. So there was that. Issue 26 is where Raven kind of, clears Lex Luthor out of Connor's head. This one is actually, I think, the first Tony Daniel art. So Tony Daniel takes over pretty much, I think, from this point on, and he's another phenomenal artist on that. So got that signed by him right there at the bottom. And I believe this is where I started skipping issues because, 27 and 28 were Rob Liefeld drawn Hawk and Dove covers. And I did not care about Hawk and Dove or Rob Liefeld art. So I have yet to ever buy those. And so I probably won't. So we get 29. There's that. Once again, signed by Tony Daniel. We start to get Red Hood and Donna Troy back involved. So I think this is the first, kind of right as soon as they brought back Red Hood, I think, is where that comes in. And then we get into, well, actually, no, we don't get into Countdown yet. Thank goodness. Then there's issue 30. Brother Blood comes back to haunt Raven in the book. So there's that. Once again, signed. Actually, I got this one signed by Johns, too. I didn't realize that. So I got this one signed by Jeff Johns and Tony Daniel both. Oh, and Jeff Johns signed my 29, too. Shame on me for not showing that. So Jeff Johns signed it right next to Tim right there. 30. Those were, like I said, I need to do a better job sorting my stuff. So don't know where 31 and 32 are at, but I've highlighted this specific book on my channel in the past. This is issue 33. I got this one signed by Todd Knock, Tony Daniel, and Jeff Johns. One of my favorite issues. This is the Infinite Crisis crossover. I think Alex was referencing it in the chat earlier. Pretty much the Titans, they're busy trying to save everybody from everything on Earth at this point. So kind of Nightwing knows what's going on with Infinite Crisis. He knows they need to act now on what's going on with Superboy Prime and Alexander Luthor. So he puts out just a general call to anybody out there. And the only person available to answer is Connor Kent, because he retired after Luthor got a hold of him. So he was just sitting at the Kent farm, you know, kind of doing, he was debating if he should come back or not. Nightwing signal. Finally, he's just like, I got to do something. I got to get off the couch and fight crime and, you know, help my guys out finally. So this is one of my favorite issues of this whole run, is issue 33. And I believe besides the annual I got coming up eventually, this is pretty much the last appearance of Connor in the run, because Infinite Crisis, he doesn't survive it. So as you can see by the variant cover for issue 34, there is a statue of him because Infinite Crisis killed off Connor Kent's Superboy for a time. Got this one signed by Tony Daniel as well. So this is the B cover, if you will. And then this was the A cover, which if you guys watched me last week, I talked about the 1 year later stuff. So there's the 1 year later stuff from Teen Titans. So there's issue 34, which they kind of redid the team a little bit. So now you got Kid Devil, which I thought was a cool character at the time. You got Rose Wilson, who's Ravager, joining the team. And then this was back when they had Cyborg too. So, and then there's issue 35, signed by Tony Daniel and Jeff Johns. Like I said, I got a lot of these signed by Johns. So that was 35. Hopefully I got 36, and I do. Once again, Daniel and John signed. We also get some Doom Patrol involvement there as well. And I know a lot of people are have been seeking out this issue. This is issue 37. Got signed by Johns and Tony Daniel as well. First appearance of Miss Martian, and obviously a very early appearance for Kid Devil too. So cool to have that one in the collection, because I know a lot of people like that one. Then 38, which I can't remember the name of that character, but they basically, at this point, the Titans are going on a full-blown recruiting mission, trying to rebuild the team after Infinite Crisis. Because as you can see, like, Cassie's kind of in and out of the team at this point because she's concerned about, you know, not having Connor Kent around. Robin and Cassie at this point are also in a relationship that they feel guilty about, so there's a lot of tension on the team by that point. We get 39, where they got, is a, you know, like a kid version of Zatara now. So like I said, they're going on a global recruiting mission. You'll see why here in a second. So there's 42 with the Blue Devil involvement. Once again, Tony Daniel's signature. And then 43, once again, signed by Tony Daniel. We get Titans East. So this is, the Titans are putting together their team. We had Deathstroke putting together the Titans East again, too. So you pretty much get, you know, all these like cast away characters that, you know, the Titans kind of forgot to ask or didn't want because they were too injured, and Deathstroke kind of found a way to convince them to, you know, form the Titans East, which of course leaves the East versus West. So actually I do have a Tony Daniel signature on that one too. Same thing for 45. So like I said, this is, you're kind of getting the tail end of John's here. So 46. I think this character's name was Match, if I remember right. It's a messed up clone of Connor Kent. So it's basically a Bizarro Superboy, which I think he also has feelings for Cassie, unfortunately for Cassie, which are weird because he's beating her up on the cover. So there's that. And 47. And yeah, this is where, you know, they start killing off some random ones they picked up. 48. And yeah, as you can see, we now have Adam Beechin on the title instead of Jeff Johns. So this is kind of where I start to, honestly, I mean, I tuned out at this point a little bit. At least they still had Tony Daniel doing the covers and stuff. And then the Amazon Attack storyline. That wasn't a fun one. So yeah, they had to involve the Titans in that too. We got, oh, here's 31. I've been looking for that one. So like I said, sometimes when you sort these things out for conventions, they get put in different bags and stuff, and sometimes you just don't sort them back in. So there's 31 again. I think you get, yep, Captain Carrot. So there we go. But I do have an issue 50. This one's signed by Todd Knock, Ali Garza, Sean McKeever, and George Perez. So I think this is one of my few Titans George Perez signed books I have. Signed it right there by Supergirl. So really like that book. Before I keep going, I do want to get back into chat because it's been a minute since I talked to you guys. Yeah, it looks like Tacoma saying he's got pro passes for Emerald City. That's cool, man. Hope you enjoy your con. Or I think I've already read that comment. Roman Curtis says the queen is here. Hello, Miss Hustle. All right, so you guys are asking about. Jason retracted a message. So I hate missing those. Tacoma says, I mainly know Jeff Johns from Justice Society of America. How would you compare this run on Teen Titans to that? Yeah, his Justice Society run, I think that's the one that actually put him on the map. I haven't read that full run. I really like the later run where he involved Alex Ross in the Kingdom Come storyline. To me, I think Titans is maybe my personal favorite just because he involves so many characters like Tacoma. I think you would really like it based on some of the stuff you read and enjoy, because I know you kind of like drift toward the teenage characters too, like Miss Marvel and that type of stuff. So I think Tacoma, you would really, really enjoy the Johns Titans run. I can't recommend that one for you more. So if you see like a collected edition, or actually I think they have the first 12 on DC Universe streaming right now too, if you have that service. So check it out, Tacoma. I think you would specifically really enjoy that run, I think. Genome says, I never understood Liefeld's popularity as an artist, though I did like how he drew Boom Boom. Yeah, I mean, I feel like his style is very oriented toward the 90s. When I think Liefeld style, I think back to like that X-Force run, the New Mutant stuff that was late. So I think his style fit that time well, but it has not aged well since, like some of the other creators from back then. Let's see what else we got. Prowler says, my last Army assignment with the military police unit, so I had to be a good boy. So that's cool, man. Count Core says, hey, Carson, popped in a quick hi while dodging tornadoes. Yeah, good luck, Chad. Dang. Unless that's Midwest Comic Man. They might be on the same account. I'm not sure. Oh, okay. Yeah, there it is at the bottom. He says, Midwest Comic Man says, actually, it's me dodging tornadoes. LOL, wrong account. So yeah, I thought that was a little weird. Yeah, good luck to you, Paul. It's cool you can make it in the stream, man. But yeah, stay safe, all that good stuff. Take shelter, obviously. So hopefully everything goes well for you. We're thinking about you, man. Ruben says, as being a new comic collector, how do you find out what cons are coming to where you live, or where is the best place to look to see upcoming events? I think what I usually do, because I can't think of the website name right now, otherwise I just suggest that. I think I just search upcoming comic conventions, and usually I think you get a website called like upcomingcons.com or something like that. And then they usually have like just like a nice database of upcoming conventions that are coming up. I'm sure maybe someone in the chat could drop a link or think of something that I forgot. But I know there are a couple databases out there. Just if you search like comic conventions near me or something like that, usually you can get like the first couple hits, get a good website that has a collected version. Like I said, I don't want you, I don't want you to feel like you have to like reveal where you're from, because not everyone wants to say where they're from in the chat. But say if you're from like Chicago, we could probably name drop a bunch of Chicago conventions or something like that too. Let's see what else we got. Looks like Joker's got to go. Just took his medicine. Yeah, good night, Joker. It's cool you can make it, man. Good luck to you, man. All right, so let's get into the tail end of our Teen Titans collection, because I'm sorry, guys. I'm pushing 90 minutes again. My apologies. We'll wrap up Titans and do last shout outs and all that good stuff. So we got 51, signed by Sean McKeever. And I'll be perfectly honest, once I got past 50, I'm kind of confused on where the book went after that. I tuned out just because I was collecting other things at that point. 53, at least we get the Jaime Reyes Blue Beetle involved with that a little bit. And then, like I was talking about earlier, 55, you kind of see that, like I said, the great divide between Cassie and Robin finally, and the Superboy shadow at the bottom. So pretty cool cover from Eddie Barrows there. Pretty much identifies what was going on in the whole run. So yeah, those two didn't last long, unfortunately. They made a decent couple for a minute, but they weren't meant to last. Issue 52, signed by Sean McKeever. They fight Starro, and that one, of course. Here's an underrated one for me. I think this one, yeah, 62. It says, who is Wonder Dog? So we get kind of like their version of the Wonder Twins in this, but it's really funny. I'm going to go ahead and spoil it just because I can't really talk about it otherwise. But by the end of this, it turns out like Wonder Dog is like an alien dog who's like a carnivore. So he ends up just eating the Wonder Twins at the end. It's really funny. So if nothing else, this book gave me a really good laugh. 61. And I think the other ones I just collected through dollar bins and probably haven't read. So there's 61, 64, sorry, 63 and 64, 65, 66, And I should say Eddie Barrow's art on this part of the run was pretty good too. He did good work as well. So 67. They were like brother blood in this Titans run. 68. And then, like I said, I kind of skip around. 72. 75. I think at this point, Cassie was pretty much the leader of the team because, you know, she's the only one left by that point. And then this is my Mylar one, issue 100. Cool Phil Jimenez variant cover. Kind of just highlights anyone who made an appearance in the run and anyone who's kind of been the Titan in the past. Probably by far the coolest cover of this whole run right there. So I'd love to meet Phil Jimenez and get him to sign that one day. And then there's the annual I was talking about earlier. Usually I put the annuals last in my collections. But here's the annual I was talking about. I got this one signed by Jeff Johns. This is kind of chronicles Cassie and Superboy's last night together before they go to Infinite Crisis, basically. And Connor ends up, dying in that. So they kind of feel like it's going to be their last night together anyway because of all the stuff that's going on around them. So really, really nice read right here. Pairs very well with that issue 33. So if you guys read Infinite Crisis, this and issue 33 are excellent supplements that which I think are must read. Absolutely. So that's pretty much all the books I'm going to show today. I think I got books everywhere. I'm surrounded now. So we'll get back to the chat one more time, then go ahead and sign off and get some last plugs in. And of course, if you guys got any questions, it's been fun answering Ruben's questions tonight. So if you guys got any more questions, feel free to throw them up, and I'll do my best to give you guys a good answer. Yeah, Jason agreed. Look up Comic-Cons in your area. Sometimes you just search for it in Google, you get a good pop-up. Let's see. Got about a half hour before the next set of storm, says Midwest Paul. So hey, at least you get a little bit of a break. I know that cold front's going to be pushing through here shortly too, probably by end of Wednesday. Yeah, it was 90 yesterday, and it's supposed to hit 39 by the end of tomorrow, I think. So global warming, thanks. TJ says never apologize for going long, enjoying every minute. Thanks, TJ, man. That means a lot. Awesome, man. So yeah, once again, check out TJ Watson's channel if you guys didn't check it out last week. He's been killing it lately with his videos, and especially if you guys like slabs, TJ Watson's the place to go. Let's see. Jason and Who Dad, it's turning into the Great Legends auction in the chat. Miss Hustle there too. Jam Session says have a great week, everyone. Thanks again. No problem. Thanks for making it. Genome says, speaking of 90s comic nostalgia, I showed a video on my channel all about it the other day. I'll definitely have to check that out because I love me some 90s books like everybody else. He misses them days. Like I said, I think I had the most fun collecting in the 90s just because there are just so many crazy books and shiny covers and chromium covers and see-through covers. Who Dat says, I have a question. Did you find that TMNT books? Don't know which ones he's talking about, so I could probably show a quick TMNT book just so I can say I showed one. If I have it over here, because I'm in the teenage section, being Teen Titans. So after that, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles comes in my order. So yeah, probably my best one in my collection, Who Dat's this issue 1 of the IDW run. I got this one from Mass Price Books. Cost me about $10. But it got me in the now in that backlot where I also got a $5 copy of the first appearance of Lobo. So I think well worth it, $10 for this to get into their hidden bin that they had in the store. So yeah, I at least found this one. Jason asked where I'm at. I'm in Indiana. Indiana weather is a roll of the dice. So it's always very confusing what you're going to wake up to around here. Who knows? It might snow by the end of October here. I know April alone, I think we had like a summer style day, and then there were days where plows had to come out before that. So that's typical Indiana weather anymore, unfortunately. Yeah, Genome agrees about the 90s. It's Wild West, amazing content, artistry, and volume. Ruben says, thanks, everyone. And the info has been really helpful to see Wood. So thank you, Ruben. Glad to have you in the community once again. Oh, Who Dat's asking about the paperback run of IDW. Like I said, I need to find the paperback. Oh, I think I might be good on the first trade at this point. I think I have all the individual issues. I really want that hardcover too, but I might end up having to bite the bullet and get the trades just so I can get that read. So no, I haven't gotten any of the actual trades or hardcovers yet, Who Dat. Oh, Miss Hustle says, I have a question. What's on the red cup? LOL. Every year, it's almost like a tradition. I go to C2E2, and they always have these like commemorative beer mugs. So every year they change the color. So this year's was red. So I thought that was cool. And on the other side, It's the brewery who is the sponsor for the show. So if you guys are from Chicago, you might have heard of Revolution Brewing. They have some really nice beer. It's very tasty, obviously, because I get a cup of it every year. So they have what's called the League of Legends. So every year, usually, originally Galaxy Hero, I think, was exclusive to C2E2 as a beer. Now it's just something they sell in a can, like wherever they're distributed. And then Anti-Hero is like their main staple beer. So yeah, Revolution Brewing is some good stuff if you guys are in the Midwest and want to try a decent craft beer. All right, let's see what Who Dat's saying. He says, yeah, I just found volume 1 through 10 of the IDW run 2 weeks ago. Wow, that's awesome, man. He said, I think I heard about that run from you as well. So it's cool you found that many. So that's cool. I definitely want to read those one day. So hopefully I can find those trades as well. But other than that, like I said, we're pushing 9 o'clock. I'd like to get some wrestling in before I have to go to bed because I do work early. So I guess if you guys see me on the old Xbox, you can guess what my gamer tag is. Seawooder19. So got WWE 2K19. Probably play a couple matches before I go to bed. Maybe I'll see some familiar faces on there. But once again, thank you guys so much. Once again for the awesome response in the chat. Love chatting with you guys every single week on this stuff. Once again, we still got comments coming. This also says nice. I like it better than JP's Peak Up. Yes, JP, if you watch and I said it, LOL. Yeah, if you guys keep track of comics and cold ones, yeah, they talk about P cups. So I don't know where Pope Grimy went. He might have exited on that. Prowler says craving some Maryland crab cakes. Those do sound good, Prowler. Who Dat says get some rest. LOL. Zero Cool 504 if you want to add. Yeah, if you guys are on Xbox, there you go. I might have to look you up, Who Dat. I'll definitely friend you for sure. Jason says I'm going to get a Xbox and a PS4 soon. Miss Hustle says have some fun with wrestling. See you later. With that, like I said, it's about 9 o'clock. Thank you guys so much, especially if you watched this far. I know it's been 2 weeks in a row, 90 minutes. So I got to say, I know TJ said not to say it, but I'm sorry once again. But thanks for joining me. I'll see you guys probably my next stop. I'm hoping to have I might try to do a community support video, maybe Friday. If not into next week, because I do have this weekend off. So I'd like to get an actual recorded video out to know I'm on everybody's live stuff. Sometimes I just like to sit back and do a recorded video. That way I can read the comments and put a little bit more thought into my comment responses. So I like when you guys leave the comments. Also, Comic Core Friday nights 10 p.m. That'll be my next stop. I don't know who's going to be on this week, but I think they said there would be a guest again. If it's anything like last week, I'm really looking forward to it. We had a phenomenal show last week. I invite all you guys to watch that on the rewind if you missed it originally. Maybe the best episode of Comic Core we've done, in my opinion. But absolutely check out this week. Hopefully we'll have more of the same. Other than that, look forward to talking to you guys all week in your videos. See you on the Comic Core. And probably, if nothing else, we'll see you hopefully next Tuesday. Until then, good night, guys. Thank you so much.